Yeah, Ben, how has John maybe ramped up his recovery so far with his injury, and has he been able to throw the ball at all at practice?
Like I said kind of last week, John's a very process guy. He's going to follow the directions given by the doctor, and if there's any sort of gray area, he may lean towards more the darker shade of the gray whenever it comes to a recovery process, and that's just because he's a competitor, and that's just kind of how he's wired. So, there's steps in the recovery process that he's having to follow right now, and doing a really good job with it.
Ben, what makes it difficult about an injury like this for quarterbacks? Is it the grip of the ball, the velocity, pain? Just what do you need to see from him, I guess, to know that he's ready to go?
I think with any injury to your dominant throwing hand, I think there's a bunch of different challenges that could come from it, but I think they're all mutually exclusive, right? Somebody could struggle with another thing from the same injury. So it all just goes about how he feels, how the recovery's going, how the doctors and training staff say everything's going. But I think it's all just different from case to case.
Ben, you talk about John maybe trying to push toward the gray area a little bit in a week like this where it's such a big game. How do you balance his desire to be able to play against wanting him to be healthy for the rest of the season?
That's a good question. I think John knows his body. I think he understands, ultimately what's best for the team, but, he doesn't want to put himself in a compromising position either. So whenever he's, trending towards that darker shade of the gray, he always has his body in mind also. And so, again, he's a competitive kid. And so, he's going to try to, get as ready as quick as he can. But ultimately, I don't think anybody wants to put him in a compromising position, just personally.
I'm wondering if you've ever attended an OU Texas game before.
No, ma'am. I've never been to the game.
What's been your then outsider impression of this rivalry?
It's everything that's awesome about college football. I'm a kid who grew up in the state of Texas, right? And I'm closer to Norman, Oklahoma than I was Austin, Texas, growing up. And so being around a bunch of Oklahoma fans my entire life, it was always just different this week. You could feel the pride, you could feel the energy, and you could feel the intensity, even from fans that live 3 hours away. And so I think it's everything that's awesome about college football, the history, the tradition, the pageantry that goes into it, the fact that, it's another league game. I think there's, a lot of cool things that go into this game that will require our utmost urgency and our utmost attention.
Ben, with the quarterback situation the way it is, do you prepare segments of two different game plans in case John can play, in case he doesn't, whether Michael goes the whole way, whether he does, whatever?
Yeah. I think kind of similar to stuff that I said in the past, ultimately you got to do what puts the offense as a whole in position to be successful. And, whether it's Mike or it's John or it's anyone else to that fact, you got to do things that play to certain guys' strengths while also playing to the strengths of the offense that can give us an opportunity to be successful. So, yeah, is there maybe a few things here or there that, we do with Mike that we wouldn't do with John or vice versa? Absolutely. But, a lot of it, though, is playing to the strengths of what we do and then putting everybody, including the quarterback, in position to be successful.
What are the strengths of your offense?
What are the strengths
of
the? I think you see kids who they strain to finish. They play really hard. There's a lot of things that we can do really well. We can push the ball down the field. We're able to, create advantages, whether it's in space or in the box. Number of advantages for our guys to have operational space to be successful.
Yeah, Ben, you talked a little bit about John, but also Mike. Now that you've had time to review the tape, just what stood out about the way Mike played, and if he does need to go this weekend, what can he build on from Saturday?
I think Mike played really confident. I thought he had great eyes. You know, he knew where to go with the ball. Really on point a lot of times. There's some things maybe we could clean up just with his footwork that will allow him to make a throw a little bit easier. But Mike had really good command. He had really good awareness a lot of times of what was going on. And so I think that's things that you can build on. But, you know, one of the things that we can always get better at is just our footwork and our timing with certain things that I think will just make things a little bit easier for him. But Mike played really well. He prepared great. And, you know, he's taking that same process this week.
Ben, obviously we saw a lot of Jaden Ott Saturday. Are you happy with the way the running back rotation is starting to work itself out?
Am I happy with it? Yeah, I mean, I think the running back rotation comes from a spot of, you know, earning it in practice, just like it does with every other position, right? Those, you know, and our running backs, all of them have practiced really, really well. But I think there's been a great consistency every single day with Torrey Blaylock. You know, Jaden Ott the last 2.5, 3 weeks has been extremely consistent at practice, and so, but that room as a whole has been really consistent too. So, yeah.
Yeah, obviously Giovanni Gibson came back. What did you see in him leading up to just his recovery process and just how he played, obviously on Saturday as well?
Yeah, and the recovery process, really, really focused, you know, taking care of his body and understanding what he had to do to be able to get back and be able to play. And then, you know, from in the game, you know, it was great to get him about 20 to 25 reps, ended up being kind of what his rep count was able to make a pretty tough catch on a little hitch throw. But it was good to see. It was good to see him catch the ball, make a tough contested catch, get hit, and then be ready to go back into the game. You know, there's some things that showed up in the game that I think just naturally occur from not playing ball for a long time. But it happened early. We were able to address it on the sideline. He got it fixed the next time we did the same thing. And so I think that speaks to his awareness, his coachability, and it's good. And it's good to, you know, continually work him back to what a full load of a game feels like, and so he's been doing great with it.
Back to the right side, far side, second row, Ryan Aber.
Oh. You have one, Ryan, on one?
Yeah. I thought Ryan Chapman.
When you try to Texas defense, what stands out about Ant Hill, Colin Simmons, and just what kind of havoc they can bring for an offense?
Great athletes, big, physical. They do a great job in their scheme, understanding where they need to be, being really sound, and with being sound, playing, you know, ferocious. I mean, they fly around. They're really good players. They're fun to watch on film, and but I mean that's what those guys do. They're big, they're athletic, they're strong, and they're really assignment sound. So they do a great job.
Last night on his radio show, Brent said that remarkably, Keontae didn't have a scratch on him after that scary situation against Kent State. I guess just how's he been the last few days since you know, having to be carted off like that? And is there optimism that he might be able to return this weekend or soon?
Yeah. Thank goodness. All right. I mean, that was a scary situation, I think, for everyone in that stadium, and it kind of made my heart stop for a little bit just because of how much I enjoy being around Keontae, how much I love Keontae and the type of kid that he is, and thinking about everything that he has in his personal life too. I mean, that was a really scary situation, and so it was great to see him walk into the building the next day. He had a smile on his face. You know, I think there's, you know, he has to do the proper protocol with training staff and everything, but Keontae Lewis, what a great kid. Thank goodness that he's all right, and you know, whenever he's ready to play, he'll be ready to play. But I don't know when that is.
James Jackson.
Yeah, Coach, looking at somebody that maybe could fill in for Lewis if he can't go. But what do you think about carry on in the way that he played against Kent State? He had that big catch over the middle of the field, just being a big target if you go out there.
Yeah, I mean, he is a big target, and, like I've stated in the past, he's been really consistent with everything, and everything that he did in the game, he was very, very consistent with. I mean, he was on par for who he has been as a player, and he's a big, reliable target. He's a guy that every coach trusts, every quarterback trusts, and so I was excited to see him be able to up his game reps a little bit, and yeah, he's going to have to continue to put together good weeks of practice, have a great process with it, and be the guy that he is, and that's ultra consistent.
Third row right, Cliff Bryant.
Yeah, Coach, yards were better last week in terms of the run game. Did you see the progress that you wanted out of the run game as you head into this week?
I think there was things that we built on, things that we were able to peel back in the bye week that we made a point of emphasis about, and I thought our guys went out and executed it during the game. Was it perfect? No, I don't think for anyone it's ever going to be perfect. But I think they took the coaching and addressed the things that we needed to, and so I think those are good things to build on, and we have to keep on developing that aspect. But no, the guys were great, and I thought they took a good leap forward.
James Hale.
Texas has reportedly, everybody thinks they have one of the best defenses in the country. How do you see your matchup and what you've got going on your offense right now against the defense coming up this Saturday?
Texas does have a great defense. I mean, when you watch it on film, it's really easy to see. You don't even have to look at the stats to see, and it's for everything that I kind of said earlier about those few specific players. They're athletic. They understand their scheme. They're really sound in it, and they fly around and they make plays. It's going to come down to what it always comes down to for us, and that's execution. At the end of the day, physicality and execution, right? I mean, we're gonna put these guys in position to be successful. Who executes the best? And we have to have that mindset all week in practice. We have to be intentional with that mindset all week in practice. But they do a great job on defense.
Yeah, Coach, if you talk to anyone who has coached in this game about how the 50-yard line, it basically goes from home game to away game, and having to maybe change your snap count or your focus when it comes to that?
Yeah, I talked to, pretty much everyone in our building. A lot of people in our building have either, one, played in the game as a player or coached in a lot of these games. And so just, understanding the environment and everything that comes with it, definitely has been discussed, and, taking the proper procedures at practice to be able to adjust for stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. I think it's really unique. It's kind of split down there at the 50-yard line and go from being quiet to loud at the snap of a finger. So I'm excited for that. Appreciate y'all. Boomer.